All
We
right.
are, as I say, in there like swimwear. Let's get it.
Wrestling has more than one royal family.
Welcome back to another episode of Wrestle Dads. I'm your host, Chip. The boys and I got a special guest with us again on this episode. And to lead it off, I'm going to give my first crack at my first wrestling introduction. So here it goes. Ladies and gentlemen, introducing the First Lady of Prolific, Pro Wrestling R Women's Champion, MzWhatThatLariatDo, Ruthless LaLa.
Ruthless LaLa.
Oh, raise the roof for Jesus.
Ruthless LaLa.
How are you?
Man, I'm not gonna hold you. I have been going through it, and just that little chant right there just made my whole day better. So I truly do appreciate it from the bottom of my heart. So thank you.
Good. We've been working on that for the last week. I'm glad you liked it. So I know you're hurting and we'll get this moving. So, question one. For those who don't know, Lala was recently just hurt her hip and is currently recovering. I'd like to start this podcast off by asking, how's the hip and did you actually need surgery?
By the grace of God, and as the doctor says, me taking care of my body, um, it was a clean fracture. It was a clean break, so I won't need surgery, which is a great thing. It's just now the PT and the mental and just, trying to get my mental back balance where it needs to. And I'm not really used to being out like this. This is my first injury within the 21 years that I've been wrestling and the 39 years that I've been alive. I've never had a wrestling injury. I've never broken a bone. So this is a first for me. So needless to say, it is a lot of adjusting. It's very hard for me right now. I find myself just like crying like a big baby. Uh, and just trying to hold on to what little positivity I have, So right now it's really rough, but I have a amazing support system and I have an amazing friends that are, trying to keep me in good spirits. So right now we are hanging in there. It's shaky, but we are still hanging in there and just trying to fight, man. Just trying to fight and stay as positive as possible.
That's good to hear. I'm glad to hear that it wasn't an actual break and it seems like the recovery should be quicker because of that. So, Alex, go ahead.
How did the injury happen, and what's the recovery plan look like?
That's a great question. I actually got hurt in the beginning of my match with Darius Carter, doing a dive. Um, the second I did the dive and when I fell, like I automatically heard the pop. And everything in me was like, hey, you suck it up. Suck it up. We're gonna finish this match, because I've known Darius Carter for a very long time, and this is this was a dream match of mine. So I wasn't gonna let anything, even a broken hip that I didn't know I had at the time, keep me from fulfilling, my match with Darius Carter. I won't be able to walk until August. I'm hoping and praying that I will be able to return some type of way this year, but if not, then you can definitely see Ruthless LaLa lariating somebody in a town near you very soon in 2025 if I'm not able to return by the end of this year.
Well, not to go too far, let's try to keep this wrap like under 30 minutes. You said it was during the dive during that match. Now, I remember seeing a little clip at the very beginning during his entrance. Was it that dive that you're talking about? Like when he
Yeah.
came out at the beginning of the match, that's when that happened. And then you finished the match with this injury.
Yes.
That's impressive. Bravo. That's awesome. I'm glad I asked that question. You got heart. That's awesome. Like, you hear that, boys? She
Yeah.
pretty much broke her hip, fractured her hip at the beginning of a match, and then gutted it out and finished it.
Yeah.
That's impressive.
I like to call myself after I was in the hospital sitting, waiting to see what they were going to do. I was like, hey, I'm like a female Kurt Angle. I just didn't break my neck,
Yeah.
and I was like talking about, coming back and just talking about, like I finished the match with a broke freaking hip and like instead of, throwing milk everywhere, I love cranberry juice. So I just like, cranberry juice and just, just lose it.
That's perfect. That's awesome. Good.
All right. What was that the most painful thing that has happened to you during your career? And if not, what was?
Yes. I would say it was the most painful. Um, because I've dealt with a lot of pain and a lot of bruising in professional wrestling because hey, that's the part of the job is, I like to tell people when they like, hey, you have any advice? I want to be in wrestling and I'll tell them off the rip, if you can't take pain from head to toe, this is not the job for you. So I've dealt with a lot of pain and this one was, I would say, the most excruciating. Not during, because, once it happened, my adrenaline and me being so focused was going to where, I couldn't really feel anything, you know. Um, it was even to the point to where I literally waited like 3 or 4 days after to go to the hospital, excuse me, because I literally thought it was like I literally thought it was like a little bruise. I was like, you know what? I'll put some ice on it, take a couple of ibuprofens. We'll call it a day, and it just kept getting worse. So, yes, this is the worst pain that I've ever had in my wrestling career, and it sucks. I wouldn't wish this upon anybody.
Thank you for that answer. We truly feel for you, and we hope that you recover quickly and you can get back into the ring as soon as possible. Next question is for myself. How old were you when you realized you wanted to become a professional wrestler? And who was the wrestler or wrestlers that made you want to get into wrestling?
I was about 10 years old when when I first 9 or 10 when I first stumbled upon wrestling, and actually, it was The Undertaker, Shawn Michaels, Yokozuna, and the Junkyard Dog for me. Um, and then as I kept watching and going further, I was like, oh, yo, I don't want to be a doctor no more. I'm totally going to be a wrestler. Like, screw everything else. This is exactly what I want to be.
You went from being a doctor to a professional wrestler.
Yep.
I love it. Just from watching Junkyard Dog clips. That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's at your age, Parker. At 9 or 10, she decided she wanted to do this. So if you want to do this, she can contest. Alex?
Once you decided wrestling is what you wanted to do, how did you get started? What was your training like, and where did you go to get started, get trained?
I started my training at PCW, Professional Championship Wrestling, in Arlington, Texas. The owners, the Bussies. I started under 3 trainers, and I ended with one. The 3 trainers I started out with was BJ Turner, Lance Hoyt, and Steve DeMarco. And I finished my training with Steve DeMarco. That is my trainer. That is the godfather of my kids. That's my mom's prodigal son. He's been very instrumental to my wrestling career and my personal life. And I'm very appreciative to have a trainer like him. For women in this business is very hard because, back in the day it was even harder because, men didn't take women serious in this business. So my training was a lot different because I saw how, they would joke with the women, and I was like, oh, there's no way you're going to treat me like that. So I was very stern, and I made sure to establish the fact that however you joke with these women, you're not going to get that with me, because I'm going to go in and I'm going to work hard and I'm going to bust my butt, and I'm going to show y'all that, I have every right to be respected as the men. And I did that respectfully.
It's awesome. Go ahead, Parker.
Once you were trained, how did your first professional wrestling match go, and do you remember who it was with?
Oh, I definitely remember. Tim Storm kicked my butt. Um, I like to call him Uncle Timmy. Tim Storm is somebody that, a lot of people has gotten to see now, but he was somebody that I was able to learn under. And he always gave by far the most encouraging words and everything. And for that, I will always have love and respect for Tim Storm. He was my first opponent. He beat the brakes off of me in front of my mom and my kids. It was the greatest thing ever. I enjoyed myself. My mom was like, "No, I am not coming back to watch another one of these." So yeah. That's who it was. It was Tim Storm. I got my butt kicked, but it was the greatest time I had.
Now, you said it was in front of your entire family. Now, was your mother the only one that reacted like that, or did
Yeah, because
anybody else?
my kids were smaller, you know what I'm saying? So it wasn't like like my son was like, ooh, like he was excited, you know what I mean? But like my daughter was very young, so.
Gotcha. What do you consider the best match or matches you've had? Is it possible for viewers to be able to find them anywhere online?
Yeah, if you go on YouTube, you'll be able to find myself against my best friend and leader, aka boss, um, Isaiah Wolf, the leader of Prolific. We had let's just call it a bestie feud. You can catch that. You can also catch myself and Awesome Kong wrestling way, way back in the day. You can also catch me and Mercedes Martinez. That was a dream match of mine as well. And actually, if you one of the matches that I had was a friend of mine's. He's very hilariously comical. His name was Dick Dynamo. Unfortunately, he is no longer here with us. So that's somebody who, like, I had fun wrestling. The match with Darius Carter, that's on Title Match. I believe they should be putting it up soon. But if you have the Title Match app, definitely go watch it. And I believe Prolific versus CMD is also another match that I enjoyed because, Deshaun Pratt is like very family to me. And a lot of people don't know how great Deshaun Pratt is and how long he's been around. If you go back and look at the Funky Pharaoh, that's Deshaun. Used to hypnotize people, make them dance in the ring. I love that guy. He's a legend. He's family, and nothing but mad respect to him. And those would be the places where you can. Those are some of the matches that I'm very proud of and I'm happy with. And you can go and definitely go and watch it there. Like I said, the Darius Carter match, I had a blast. Hurt and all. Like I had a blast, and nobody could take that away from me, man. Like I was really excited about that. So
Thank you. We'll make sure. I know we watched the Darius Carter. We've seen clips of that, and we've conversed with Mr. Wolf on Twitter a few times. So thank you for that. We'll definitely look up those matches in the future. Alex?
Who has been your biggest rival or greatest opponent in your career?
It'll be Isaiah Wolf. He's my best friend. So don't nobody knows me like he knows me. He know me better than my own mother. So us having a year-long feud, uh, nobody was safe. No promotion was safe. Everywhere he went, I went, vice versa. He stole my belt. I stole his belt. It was just a lot of chaos. I cashed in his belt for a Maserati. Just so many things going on. Gas prices was high, so I had to take that back ASAP. He put my belt in the refrigerator. I put his belt in the oven. Crazy times. I believe we won 4 awards for feud of the year because of the craziness that we did. So that would be one of my best feuds ever.
That's
Love
great.
that guy.
Now jumping to currently, he's your current tag team partner, right?
So there's 4 members, working members of Prolific. That is Isaiah Wolf, Tyree Taylor, Marcus Marquis, and myself. And then you have the Wise brother. It's Dre. He's pretty much the counsel to Isaiah Wolf.
Okay.
There's 4 members of Prolific. Once again, you have the leader, Isaiah Wolf. You have the big boy from Brooklyn, Tyree Taylor. You have the new golden standard, Marquis State of Mind, Marcus Marquis. And then you have the first lady of Prolific, MzWhatThatLariatDo, Ruthless LaLa.
Perfect. Now there are a ton of great indie promotions all over the world. What are some of your favorite promotions that you've worked for?
Fight Pro, Garden State Pro Wrestling, We Are Wrestling, Mega Championship Wrestling, Super Kick Wrestling in Canada, WXW in Germany, Pro Wrestling Holland, in Holland, and Preston Championship Wrestling in the UK. I've been blessed enough to work Action, Queen of Combat, AWE at that time, Pro South, Branded Outlaw Wrestling, Anarchy Championship Wrestling at the time, Lucha Powerhouse, just a couple of places. Yeah, just, and if I didn't stop there, I was gonna keep going like, ha, the list goes and on and
You're
on.
good. Go ahead, Parker.
What was it like to win your first title as a professional wrestler? And since then, how many titles have you won so far?
I will say I have won. Jesus,
Good question, bud.
I've won at least about. I stopped counting, like in all, I stopped counting at about 30 because I was stuck in Texas for a very long time. And kind of, just run around Texas, kind of checking people like Debo, just going up and just beating them for the titles. Um, so I would say about 30. I stopped counting at 30. And what was the other question?
What was it like to win your first title?
It was unreal, man. It's everything you could think of because I didn't know I was winning, so they kind of okey doked me. So to think that somebody else is winning and you're just doing your job, and then all of a sudden you win, you're like, holy crap! Wait, did this just happen? Oh snap! I'm excited. It honestly, it felt like going to Disney World for the first time,
That
and I still haven't went to Disney World, so just from how it looks exciting. So
So wait, they didn't tell you, you just went into a match and then you did a move and pinned her, and then that's how you did it?
they was letting me know that she was gonna still retain the belt, and I was like, okay, cool, no problem. Just here to do my job and have a blast. And sure enough, they okey doke me. when I gave her my finisher, she was supposed to kick out, and then we go into her move, and I gave her my finisher, 1, 2, 3, and I was like,
Oh, that's awesome. So
I messed up. So
So she won by default.
yeah, kind of, yeah. Like they knew what was going to happen, but they didn't tell her. So it's kind of like what is it? The reverse Montreal screw job. It worked in your favor. That's awesome.
yeah, they surprised me big time. Was not expecting it.
Now, speaking of that finisher, we've seen some highlight clips of your amazing lariat finisher. What made you choose
Yes.
that particular move as your
Um,
finisher?
I've been a huge fan of I have studied religiously JBL and Stan Hansen. These are two wrestlers that if you've never studied them as a professional wrestler, I don't know what to tell you. I really don't. I wish I could, but I don't know what to tell you. By far two phenomenal wrestlers who was not afraid to lay it in, you know. And that's the thing that I love because, a lot of people, try to downplay what we do as professional wrestlers, not understanding that, wrestling's not fake. It's just a controlled contact sport. You know what I'm saying? And when people can realize that and start putting respect on it, it'll be a lot easier and better.
Yeah, I don't know if you can see, but that's what my shirt says. Wrestling is real. People are fake.
Hey,
Just
big
give a
facts.
little- That's one of our personal shirts that we do. And since you said that, was like a perfect segue. Thank you.
I definitely need one of those shirts. Definitely need one of those.
Send it your way. Alex, go ahead.
What is your favorite type of match to work? Tag team, multi-person, single matches, gimmick match.
All the above. Because I can't pick one because everything you just named, I've had fun. I've had fun singles. I've had fun with my crew, gimmick matches. Matter of fact, me and Wolf just got through beating the brakes off of each other in the last one standing match. And I threw him off the stage into a table. So I can't really pinpoint because I like it all.
We love that answer. Good answer. You don't want to be, what's it called, pigeon-toed or whatever to one thing. I like it. Do you have any goals for yourself once you're healed and back to work?
Yeah, the same goals I had before I got hurt. I've pretty much achieved everything that I wanted to do as a professional wrestler, except wrestle in Japan and get a contract. And those are the last things to do. And nothing is gonna stop me from doing those at all. So as hard as it is to rest and to not move and just be on bed rest, I'm gonna do my best to just chill and get better. And when it's time for me to come back, as I said before, may God have mercy on everybody's soul because my lariat won't. And yeah, man, that's pretty much it.
We can't wait to see you when you come back. Parker, go ahead.
We love watching NXT, and we have also noticed you refer to one of the best talents we have seen in a long time. Is it Javon? Javon Evans as your nephew. What was it like to hear that you got signed to WWE? What is your guys' relationship like? And where do you see this career going?
I've known Javon for a very long time. Very long time. And I've always been proud of everything he's done on the indies. And as a matter of fact, I go back with Javon Evans and I also go back with Bounty Keith. Actually, I've known Bounty Keith his whole wrestling career. Actually, before Bounty Keith became a wrestler and he used to be security, I used to beat him up. They would always feed the security guys to us to beat up and everything. And I remember looking at I looked at him and Javon when before they got signed, and they was in New Jersey for Deathlock Pro Wrestling when they did the show in New Jersey. I remember as we was chilling, I looked at him and I told him, I was like, it's only a matter of time. I was like, both of y'all are phenomenal. And the fact that the world is finally catching on, it's only a matter of time before, everybody realize and see how amazing y'all are. Just keep shining like the kings y'all are. And to legitimately, speak those things to them and just, automatically continue to speak and manifest good things. And the second that I started seeing like just how things was moving, I already knew, man. I had already knew. And I remember before Bounty got signed, before Javon got signed, I remember hitting them up and telling them congratulations. And they was like, what do you mean? I was like, yo, I was like, y'all are up next, yo. I was like, and when y'all are, I'm gonna be here. I'm gonna be watching the whole time cheering. And I kept my word, man. And like I mean it. Like I'm massively proud. I'm massively proud of our friendship. And I've been really down here with me being hurt. And so just to, get messages from him saying, stay strong, auntie, it means the most to me.
That's awesome. I'm glad that words of inspiration can help people. Like we always try to be nice and be positive to people during every podcast that we do. So I'm glad that we could help. So to get you off the hot seat and to wrap this up, we usually do a Chef's Kiss, aka Best Match of the Week award for every podcast episode we do. So for you specifically for this episode, it could be your favorite match of all time, the favorite match that you've seen this week, however you want to play along. I'm going to lead off. I think all of us, we chose SmackDown matches of this week. I chose Randy Orton versus AJ Styles. I thought that was one of the best matches I've seen in a very long time. AJ Styles is yoked now in his 40s, looks amazing. Randy Orton's back, looks absolutely great. I thought it was one of my favorite matches I've ever seen. Parker, go ahead.
My Chef's Kiss award goes to staying on SmackDown. My Chef's Kiss goes to Baron Corbin versus Carmella Hayes. My favorite part about this match was whenever he did, it looked like a fisherman's suplex. It looked like a fisherman's suplex mixed with a falcon arrow. That's what it looked.
Slammed him in. Yep, that's
Yes.
exactly what it was. Perfect. Now I'm switching the microphone to Alex. If you want to go ahead with your best match that you've seen of the week, go ahead.
Best match I've seen of the week, because I haven't been really being in tune how I usually would because of my injury. But if I can give two awards, it would be to Illa and Ricochet for the King of the Ring tournament match, and it would be Jade Cargill and Piper. Those would be the matches for me. You got to see amazing talents that are the yin and yang of each other create beautiful chemistry, and that's something that I was definitely here for.
Yeah, I agree. Those were my runner-ups, but I had to go with Randy and AJ Styles for mine.
No, I understand, man. I understand 1000%.
Alex, good.
My Chef's Kiss award goes to Naomi and Nia Jax. I love it how Naomi comes out with her music and her glowing shoes and how her hair glows in the dark.
Oh yeah, Naomi is dope. She's the best. She deserves all her flowers.
Yes, Naomi is awesome. We're happy to see her back in WWE. We're big fans of women wrestling at Wrestle Dads. We love having you on. And to wrap this up, we'd just like to give you a little moment. Anything you're promoting yourself, anything you'd like to talk about, to wrap up this podcast. Go ahead.
Man, nothing, Judge. Just thank you all for having me. I am out. If you guys want to go and show support, you can go on my you can go and purchase one of my shirts at Pro Wrestling Tees. Just type in Ruthless LaLa, or if you want some of the group merch, you can go on Pro Wrestling Tees as well and type in Prolific. And everything that we have as far as t-shirts will pop up. I am working on newer and bigger, more merchandise, so just bear with me. This weekend my best friend Isaiah Wolf will be he has been announced as the number 10th entrant in the CZW Best of the Best tournament. This is his second time doing the Best of the Best tournament, so I'm really excited. And the fact that Kenta is in this tournament as well, it'll be pretty fun if I get to see my best friend and one of my favorite wrestlers go at it. So
Now, best of the best before you go. Can you explain that a little bit? I don't think I've ever heard of that before. And you said Kenta is going to be in this one, so that's got my attention. Can you explain?
best of the best. Best of the best is legitimately exactly how it sounds. The best of the best in wrestling, in independent wrestling, all come together to try to get a shot at the CZW World Heavyweight Championship. Right now, it is being held by Aaron Ash, who just recently beat Rich Swann for it. But he's not gonna have that for very long, because everybody knows that Wolf always bring the BDE, and he's in his Wolf era, and he's Brooklyn's finest for a reason. So I haven't been to no shows since I've been hurt, but this is one show that I'm gonna actually pull up and be there and have my best friends back to support them. So
That's awesome.
it's gonna be amazing. Last year, we had Alex Kane, O'Shea Edwards, Jaden Newman, Kid Bandit, Miles Hawkins, like Rich Swann, like the names go on, you know what I'm saying? Myron Reed, you know what I mean? So it's gonna definitely be good this year.
Yeah. Do you know offhand what the date is?
It is Saturday the 18th. If you cannot be there to watch it live in Baltimore, it will be on Triller TV, aka Fight TV, and IWTV.
So May 18th in Boston on Fight TV, Triller. Gotcha.
Baltimore, Maryland. Yes, sir.
Oh, Baltimore. Gotcha. Sorry, just trying to make these notes down just in case if I ever have to check them in the future. All right, perfect. Well, boys, if you got any other questions you want to ask Ruthless LaLa before we let her go?
No.
All right. Well, it was a pleasure having you on. Truly an honor. You're our first women wrestler we've had on our podcast. I hope you had a good time.
I had a blast.
Yeah. Thank you for answering all of our questions. And we'll hope to link up soon here in the future. We'll keep in touch.
No, man. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it. It was an honor and pleasure. Y'all have by far a blessed and great night, and I will talk to y'all soon. God bless.
God bless. Thank you. And all right, well, I think that's all we have for you on this episode of Wrestle Dads. You can follow us on Twitter at WrestleDadsPod. For audio purposes, follow us on Spotify, Apple Podcast, Google Podcast, Amazon Podcast, and iHeartRadio. For video purposes, you can find us on YouTube and TikTok. Just search Wrestle Dads. You'll find us. And if you like what you're hearing, please rate 5 stars and hit that subscribe button. Thank you. Peace.
Scissor me!